Guys, welcome. I'm excited. I got Michele with Arrow Title Services down in Stewart today, and she's got a great new product that really helps me as a realtor, right? Because right now the problem is I want to buy a house, I want to sell a house, but I don't want to get coronavirus, right? So everybody's locked up in their houses. So how do I keep moving forward with that adventure, that journey? And you have come up with a really cool new tool to help everybody. And honestly, we've had about a 2-minute discussion on this. So I still don't fully understand this. So tell me everything about it.
So it's called Remote Online Notarization, or RON.
Ron.
So I call it Ron is my new friend.
He needs a little avatar.
Yes. That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah, there you go.
So Remote Online Notarization actually went into Florida statute January 1st of this year. And basically what it is, it allows us to do e-closings. So the funny thing about e-closings, I'll give you a little history. About 10 or 11 years ago, they attempted to do e-closings. There were two problems with it. And the reason it didn't take off were two problems. I don't think the technology was there yet, 100%.
Yeah.
And I think that the state wasn't on board with it. And when I say that is when you're a notary, you have to go through the process of becoming a notary. You have to take the class online. You have to file the right paperwork. You have to have a bond and E&O insurance and all this. And the state was not on board with doing e-notarization.
Yeah.
So that still kind of made it problematic for e-closing. So it started and it kind of just died after that. So here we are, fast forward 10 or 11 years. And the state finally decided, you know what, this is something we really need to get on board with. And they passed it into law January 1st. So what it is we have to have a platform in which we meet with somebody, kind of like what you and I are doing right now.
Yeah.
Okay. But it has to be through an approved platform. There are several out there, and we are signed on with 2. And we meet like this, and the documents are already uploaded. And I explain just like I do a normal closing.
You got like a screen share? I can see the documents?
Yeah, you can see the documents. I can, go over them with you just like I do normally if we were face to face. And then I witness and I e-notarize. So the e-notarization is basically still my stamp.
Yeah.
It's still my stamp that says, hey, I saw you, you signed it, here's my stamp. So it's really, really, really cool. I'm actually really, really excited about it. I was very apprehensive in the beginning. Those of you that have known me for a long time, I'm very old school. I mean, that's just how I am. I feel like, it takes something away when you're not face to face with somebody.
Oh, yeah.
But honestly, this eliminates that fear because you're still face to face.
Yes.
So you have to be in front of somebody's face. So you have to have audio visual. So a laptop with a webcam or a computer with a webcam. And
it's all recorded.
It's all recorded. The whole thing is recorded. We have to it's very finite what we have to do to maintain this system. So we have to have a journal entries, things like that. We have to have additional bonding, additional E&O insurance for it. And that's something we all do in the background. That's not anything anybody, the customer have to worry about any of that. But I know customers are concerned about privacy and things like that. And in order to do this kind of closing, you have to have a 2-factor authentication. And this is where the audio visual comes into play. So they have to log into the platform. They have to actually answer a series of questions. So it's almost like a mini background check.
Yeah.
Where they, where were you living in 2010?
Yeah.
And you have to choose the address, and you have to answer 5 questions, and you get 3 times to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you can't, then you got to start over. You can't do it till the next day. So it is very, very secure, very secure. And then the other authentication is, of course, here we are, you and I face to face, and you have to put your photo ID into kind of like when you scan your credit card.
Yeah.
When you're paying for something online, it's like that. So you have to put your photo ID up to the camera, let it scan, and take a perfect picture of it. And so it's very secure.
A normal laptop camera that I've got up here, that works?
Absolutely.
Okay. How long does it take, whatever software it is, whatever platform you're using, how long does it take me as a user to download that on my computer?
No time at all. You just go to the website. You have to have I have to invite you to it.
Yep.
Okay.
I like that.
So we're using, we signed up with 2 platforms. I think there are 4 or 5, but we signed up with 2 just in case. Pavaso is one of them, which is actually a company backed by my underwriter, Old Republic. And Old Republic is a huge company,
Yep.
very, 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 very well maintained. And it's a great, Pavaso is great. And then Notarize.com is a little bit, just kind of one of those companies on the side there.
Yeah.
I prefer Pavaso simply because it's backed by Old Republic, and Old Republic is so financially strong.
Yes.
And I think that's really important for
It
something like
is.
this.
Yeah.
But for someone who, already looked into Notarize.com, we wanted them to have at least another avenue to log into if they wanted to. So
okay. So if I'm a buyer, seller, whatever, and I want to invite my agent or my mom or my son or whatever, is that possible?
yes,
Okay.
yes, because you actually do want to have witnesses, and you actually want to have a witness with the person that's doing the signing.
Physically?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is that a problem if I can't get that physically?
No, it's not a problem if you can't. If you can't, then we can provide the witness on our end.
Are they with me, the buyer, or are they with you, the closer?
They're with me.
Okay, cool. So I'm still safe from coronavirus. That's what I'm thinking.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I'm really getting into this. So I am the buyer, and you're gonna have me sign the document, and I've got my son there because maybe I'm an 80-year-old, guy, and I'm nervous. Like I don't know what's going on. I'm an 80-year-old, and I don't know about all this technology. So I've got my kids there with me to make me feel comfortable. And all of a sudden, you bring something up that has something to do with my finances, and I get a little bit nervous. Can we shut them out for a second and then bring them back in a minute?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Man, you're solving all my problems. Okay. So you've got your normal title charges. Do you charge anything above and beyond for this?
We do not.
What?
We do not.
Really?
Yeah. We don't charge, but Pavaso does charge.
How much?
Okay. So it's $25.
Whatever.
And all of the platforms charge the same. So
Yeah.
it's across the board. $25 is nothing. It's really
No.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend $5 just in gas to get there,
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. Or if you have to come from another state.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, forget coronavirus, right? This little period of time, 6, 12, 18 months from now, I might want to do all my closings like this. Is that the norm? Is that something you as a title closer want? Is that more efficient for you?
I think so. But again, I'm really hands-on. I like to meet my customers, but I think it's really going to help us with our mail away closings. One kind of hurdle that we always have to get through when it comes to mail away closings is we have to have this amount of time to get the documents out. They have to sign them and get them back to us, and we have to use FedEx. So you got FedEx there, FedEx
and
back.
hopefully nothing changes at the last minute.
Exactly, which as we both know, that does happen.
Yep.
And the thing with FedEx is FedEx cost us anywhere between $18 to $32 one way.
So roughly $25. Okay.
Exactly.
So are there any people or any situations where this wouldn't necessarily make sense or you couldn't do it?
Yes. So there are some restrictions. For example, if we do an e-closing for someone who's in another state, obviously, it cannot be a notary in that state.
It has to be a Florida notary?
It has to be a Florida notary because it's a Florida property.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. So, which I always thought was a little strange, to be quite frank with you, because we send mailaways and that notary in that state takes care of it.
Yeah.
But for remote online notarization, no, that's not the case. They want a Florida notary. Another instance is out of country. So out of country is a little bit, I'm not quite sure how we would handle that because timing is an issue.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of, if I'm notarizing somebody in, say, Dubai, and Dubai, if I'm not mistaken, is like 9-10 hours ahead of us, if I'm not mistaken.
Roughly. Yeah.
So timing with another country is an issue, because here we are, it might be midnight over here, but it's still the middle of the day over there.
Yeah.
So that may be problematic, but even something like that, we can get over. That's a hurdle we can get over.
So do you foresee this? Let's talk about 2, 3, 4 years from now. Do you foresee this being a cool new tool that you offer, or do you foresee this being the norm?
I think it's going to be the norm.
Yeah.
I do feel like it's heading that way.
Yeah, I really do too. I mean, I think that the silver lining of this whole coronavirus issue has been that people like you and me have been forced to figure out things that maybe we knew we should have been working on for years, and we just always kind of put it to the back burner because we were so busy. Now you're forced to figure out how to do everything virtually, which is an awesome byproduct of this whole issue.
It is. I mean, we have had to come up with creative ways to meet with people. Even in the last few weeks, yesterday we had, we're being very careful. We are still working. We are still doing closings. But we have to be very careful, because I myself, nor do I want my staff to be exposed to it. So we actually set up a system. It's kind of funny. It was really cute yesterday. We put out a table in front of our office. And if you remember, our office has a glass door entrance.
Yeah.
So we put a table with chairs outside in the hallway, and we have our door open, and we're 6 to 8 feet away from that person while we're witnessing.
Smart. Everybody likes that, Yeah. I think everybody right now, because I've been doing as limited as possible. I've been doing showings and, inspection, stuff like that. And everybody wants the space, but they feel kind of uncomfortable asking for it. But I'm loud. I like just coming in and being like, listen, everybody stay 10 feet away from me. I don't want anything to do with you. All right. And if you kind of make light of it, everybody respects that. And I think they're comfortable. But if you don't mind, I'm going to veer off on something else a little bit here, because I think it's something that not a lot of people fully understand. And it offers a ton of benefit. And I know every time I see Lucy, she makes me talk about it. Tell us a little bit about title insurance. How much roughly does it cost? Why do I get it? Who is it for? Give me some situations I would use it in.
Yeah, absolutely. So title insurance, people really don't understand title insurance. And that's something that Lucy really hones in on when she's doing her education out there, when she's, meeting with you and meeting with other agents and customers. So title insurance is an interesting insurance because it insures the past. It insures future loss from things that have happened in the past. It's a one-time fee. It is a state regulated fee. So that's the one thing that people don't understand. It is a state regulated fee. So no matter where you go, no matter where you close, that fee is always going to be the same. So title insurance, you have two policies. One is the owner's policy, which ensures your ownership of the property. So if I'm buying a piece of property for $200,000, I get a policy that says I own that property free and clear of any encumbrances or any other claims to ownership.
Yep.
And that policy stays with me and my heirs for as long as I own it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you pay it one time, that's it, and it stays with you forever. The second policy is the mortgage policy. Most banks, I would say 99% of the banks require mortgage policies, even when you're doing hard money. Hard money now. It used to be years ago, if you're doing hard money, they didn't care about the title insurance, but now they're getting on board with it too. So I do hard money loans, and the title insurance for them ensures their clear title. So we have to make sure there are no encumbrances, mortgages, liens, judgments, home equity loans, anything that is going to be before their mortgage.
What's an encumbrance?
So an encumbrance is basically a lien, something that encumbers the title of the property. So you have mortgages, you have liens, you have judgments, tax warrants are a big one. So we have to make sure there is none of that that's going to take precedence over that mortgage. Because if, God forbid, somebody stops making their payments and they go to foreclose, they don't have clear title if we don't make sure all that's taken care of.
Yep.
So,
I'll give you a great example of a situation that I had with a client. It was a buyer of mine, and this was up in Minnesota, and it was in the city, and up there, you don't really do surveys on in-city properties. You do them when you buy 5 acres out in the middle of nowhere, So they didn't do a survey. They purchased the property, and it was house with detached garage. Detached garage. They wanted to. I think it was they wanted to build a shed that aligned with the side of the garage. And when they submitted the plans to the city for approval, the city said, that's a foot over your line. And they're like, well, if that's a foot over my line, my garage is a foot over my line. So then they got the survey. They found out it was a foot over their line. And they called me freaking out. And I said, listen, let's call title. Let's look at that policy you got. And the policy took care of, they actually negotiated with the neighbor, and they bought that piece of land for, I don't know what it was, but it was a couple $1,000s. It was nothing, right? For the enormity of the issue, it cost so much. But all the headache, the time, the phone calls, the paperwork, the legal, everything, it was all on that title policy. My buyer, who was now an owner, had to do nothing. And it was such a relief for them. Can you imagine if you didn't have that and you had to do that yourself? So it rarely happens, but in the small circumstances where, or the small amount of circumstances where it happens, holy smokes, is it a lifesaver?
It's funny because, you know, owner's title insurance is not required, but the mortgage title insurance is required. So I do get this question a lot from owners, and it's funny you bring up this situation because this is something that could happen very easily, survey issues and things like that.
Yeah.
They say, well, we don't want to spend the money, and you know, but the thing of it is, why would you insure your lender and not yourself?
Yeah, exactly.
So for example, your customer in Minnesota, their mortgage would have been taken care of, no problem.
Yeah.
But they would have had the financial loss of this encroachment. Yeah. So, you know, I am not a big insurance person myself, but when it comes to something like this, when it comes to your home is your biggest investment. I don't care who you are or where you live. Your home is your biggest investment. You put love, sweat, equity into that home every day of your life. Why not protect yourself to the max?
Yeah.
You know,
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a question here from Michelle, and I'll let you answer it. Sorry, I missed it, but but this digital signatures or real signatures?
Digital signatures.
Okay, so we got digital signatures.
But it's with your mouse.
Oh, really? That's going to be an ugly signature, but who cares?
Yeah. When I went to register with Pavaso, I had to do it with the mouse. I'm like, oh gosh, this signature is not good.
Yeah.
But it's a virtual signature, but you have to use your mouse to sign.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Well, hey, this is simple and easy. This is something that honestly, I might try to work into more closings. I think for the really small fee, I mean, that's virtually nothing. This looks so efficient versus driving 10, 20 minutes to a closing, 10, 20 minutes back. It's so efficient. It's so easy. People don't have to worry. I mean, that's always the issue is, oh my gosh, what time is it? And I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. And now if they're at work, they can literally take a half an hour, 45 minutes, go into a conference room, get it done while they're eating their sandwich for lunch, and then they can go back to work and they don't have to worry about that. I mean, this solves so many problems.
I love the fact that it's going to really help us with our mail aways. You know, we do have a lot of residents who aren't here full time.
Yeah.
You know, we are snowbirds. We're very much that kind of state. And I think it's going to really make that part easy because we spend so much time and energy in preparing mail away closings, and between mail away and FedEx. I mean, I spend anywhere between $800 to $1,600 a month in just FedEx.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Crazy. We even have a way to upload the recordings now to the courthouse as well through Simplifile.
And they have a way of receiving them.
Yes, they do. Every county in Florida is set up for that.
Interesting. Okay, so that brings up another great topic here. We got Michelle Durant again asking, are you finding all lenders are accepting this?
Unfortunately, Michelle, no. That's the one hurdle that we're finding right now, that not every lender is set up to do it. We are, however, finding lenders are set up to do most of it. So what that means is instead of signing, 60 documents, they want a wet signature on the note and the mortgage and maybe one other document. So we have some that won't do it, and then we have some that are partially doing it. But for the most part, I've asked every file I have right now, I've asked every lender, and only 2 are doing it.
Out of
out of 40.
Okay. But this is, I mean, this is how anything like this starts, right? Is everybody's old school. They don't want the new thing.
It's new. It's
Yeah.
new.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think eventually
Yeah.
they'll get on board. I have talked to two of our major lenders. We deal with Seacoast quite a bit, Seacoast
Yeah.
National Bank and Academy Mortgage. And both of them are actually in the process of doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the discussion that you and I are having right here, and people seeing this discussion, and you know, me as an agent putting pressure on my lender, like, hey, we're looking for a lender that can do this, and that discussion is going to be had, you know, with their underwriters and their, you know, everybody underneath them, and I think slowly over time you're going to see that this is going to be just like everything else. This is going to be something that progresses forward.
I think so. I really do. I'd like to see it. I'll tell you that. I would like to see it.
Well, Michele, I really appreciate all your time. This is such a cool tool for anybody in the real estate industry. Where can these guys find you? I've got your man, I can't even think, website address there in the comments. Where can these guys find you on social media?
So we have several avenues. We're on Facebook and Instagram. You can also reach out to us by telephone, 772-888-9120. That's our office line. My email address is Michele with 1 L at arrowtitlesvcs.com. We also have, if you go to our website, www.arrowtitlesvcs.com, there's also a platform there where you can reach out to us to contact us through that as well.
I was just checking that out last night. Yeah, that's really easy. And all your Instagram and your Facebook, is it just Arrow Title Services?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Easy.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you again, especially for doing this on a Saturday. It shows how hardworking and outgoing you are for your clients. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You are very welcome. Anytime. I'm happy to do it.
All right. Have a great weekend, Michele. Thank you.
You too. Bye.
Adios.